This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Well, I use a lot. You know, I think that's a big part of my career, and working together, John and Kyle, is a great vision for how you want to have a working relationship between head coach and general manager. But you know, I've used the analogy specifically with Kyle, like how do you describe a house without a foundation? And like abstractly, you know, it's hard for me to kind of quantify or qualify exactly how much Kyle has meant to my career, because it set my foundation when I was truly learning how to become a coach. So everything that I've become at each step of the road, really, it's hard for me to kind of describe, all right, well, yeah, he's meant X. You know, he's been part of the equation the entire time, and forever grateful for the opportunities he gave me, and the opportunities John Lynch gave me, and what the York family in San Francisco, they all did. So I can be a Miami Dolphin and take my talents to South Beach. It's pretty much really it is completely different. It's more expansive. But just being ready for, really bearing witness to a lot of peers that have held this job in their first year being rookie head coaches. I kind of had an idea to expect the unexpected and to have an ever-evolving checklist that you're never going to finish. And because I was prepared for that, really, then it's just applying what you've done at each stage in your career to a more expansive role. You know, you have a job to do. In this job, I service a lot more people. It's a lot more expansive, but you have to be detailed, you have to be driven, and you have to serve a lot more people for them to do their job, and they're depending on you. But really approaching it the same way. The weeks have been diligent, and I probably get a little more tired at the end of the week. But other than that, it's been work that's been fun and very liberating and exciting. I think there's multiple ways to use players that have skill sets that can help you do things offensively. And we've had tight ends in our history that have been featured pass receivers, and we've had featured blockers. Both on both ends of the spectrum, they are expected and will do both things, majoring or minoring in one or the other, depending on their skill set. So I have no problem, no hesitation, or no concern of Mike being able to contribute as a blocker, and we'll use him the way it's most appropriate for him, as well. We'll do the same thing for him in the pass game, really. I can tell you this much. We are looking for another quarterback. I've never seen in the history of the NFL having two on the roster, and that's very much important to us. You want a player that can help. You know, when you're looking for a number two quarterback, there's two things. You want him to benefit the starting quarterback while the starting quarterback is the starting quarterback, and empower him with how they approach their daily game plan responsibilities and how they develop when you're training in the off season. But you also want a guy that can win games should this starter go down. So a veteran backup is definitely in our discussions, but it's the best player that we can find in whatever avenue, and move forward from there. Well, the value of the running back position, what value do you put on anywhere from a third to a half of the plays on a given offensive season? You got to realize running backs collectively, whether you do it part to whole or one guy, you have about 300 to 400 some touches by that position. So it's incredibly valuable. But there is a more diverse way of finding them. There's traditionally, from a historical perspective, there's rookie, second-year players, mid to late round draft that have more success at that position than some others. But it's never been anywhere we've been, and for the Miami Dolphins moving forward, it's of paramount importance. We just have a concrete skill set that we found that can really flourish in a zone blocking system, really. What's that? No, I think much of what we've all done in our career on our different branches, we've all had the same starting point, and I think from a foundational standpoint, our language will be the same. So in terms of how you communicate, how you identify, there's a little nuance change here and there from like a formation, but from the starting point, our foundations are very similar. I think one of the strengths of the Dolphins, with the offensive coaching staff we have here, and with my contribution, I think we will adapt in ways that's impossible for me to even forecast right now. Just like in years previous, I haven't predicted ever what we were going to look in October in training camp. So it's important to establish a foundation to know where our starting points will be, and where our convictions and emphasis will be, and then you let the players dictate the terms from there. And I think that's the best way to serve players and for players to serve coaches and schemes. It's a huge one for me. I think he really influenced how I look at leadership from a head coaching position. I just got done telling the story a second ago, but my first year in the NFL was 2005, and I was an offensive intern. And the entire season, I remember like it was yesterday, like I was convinced we were winning the Super Bowl. And his bravado and his conviction and how he set people's ambition, we were winning the Super Bowl. We were that good. And we went to the AFC Championship game and lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But about 5 or 6 years down the road, as I had a better scope of the National Football League in general, I looked player by player at that roster, and I was like, wow, we were a much better team than we were individuals. And that idea of raising people's ambition and leading by just a vision of I don't know, perspective, but also just a clean way of handling yourself on a day-to-day basis and empowering people with confidence, that will be forever lasting for me as a coach. And really, as I walk the hallways in Miami Gardens these past couple weeks, it has resonated with me those days. That's been a very cool process too, because it was about 4 to 5 weeks ago that I didn't know any of them. So one of the things I majored in when I was first talking through this interview process and thinking about this job is I watched a lot of the defense, because I knew I knew I had an idea of the direction that I wanted to go with coaches on the offense, but I as a head coach, you're responsible for everything. So I watched a ton of the defensive tape, and it reminded me quickly of what I hated in 2020 when I played when Miami Dolphins beat the team I was coaching on easily. And it was that the scheme was outstanding. There were some really core young players that had been developing and that were passionate. And bottom line is I was like, yeah, I would rather play with them than against them. I don't want to play that. So in that process, I've got to know Josh, and we have a very transparent and good working relationship. We like the idea of challenging each other, and I'm excited about it because, again, it's one less issue that from an offensive coach perspective that I have to go against, and I'm excited about the growth that defensive staff can do this season moving forward, and the players that the defensive staff can coach. Well, that was a great thing about Kyle is Kyle was very accountable, that he knew every play that went in, he was ultimately responsible for. That being said, he was also very committed to giving me responsibility and empowering me and trusting me. So there was always discourse, probably since, 2014 or 15, and it grew as time went on, and, I got better at my job, but there was always discourse, throwing a percentage out. Probably not going to do that, but we were talking about plays constantly, and I've for years been putting myself in that position in terms of mentally how to call a game, so that once I got this opportunity, that I wouldn't be freaked out and lose all my hair and turn gray. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be awesome. Important, and yes, versatility is outstanding. You can create mismatches. It allows a lot of different layers and different things that an offensive coach and an offense can do to keep a defense off balance. I desire to have a lot of first-team All-Pros. That is paramount to me looking good as a coach, is awesome players. Without a doubt. You're always but you don't look at it like I need the next Debo. Debo wasn't found by looking for Debo. You look for good football players that are committed, passionate, and maybe that challenges you as a coach to see, hey, what other way can we utilize this skill set? As confident as one can be with multiple variables that you can't control. Like, I'm excited about the guy. I'm excited about the opportunity. I know we want him. We're going to do our best to get him. And it's the same thing you have to do every time you have situations such as these. You have to be able to adjust if you're unable to keep him. But our hope is that is not the case. And if you're texting him right now, you can tell him as such. Good. The benefit is that the coaches, specifically myself, will know all the players a lot better than all the coaches that didn't go. Those that are my friends. It is whatever you put into it. There's workarounds. You don't have to be at it. You can do a lot of different things. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat, I think, is what I've heard. I've never seen that, but I know that's a saying. And as long as you do your due diligence, it's not a must, but I enjoy it. I enjoy seeing people face to face. It's a part of the process that I enjoy, and I know Chris enjoys, so that's why we're here. Oh. First of all, every conversation I have is meaningful. Okay, I'm present. But we've had a great. We've had several great conversations on phone and in person, and so I'm excited to coach the guy. But let's not forget, like, it is what it is. You know, I honestly, me personally, I don't have a crystal ball. You know, but really the only guys I can talk about are the players that are here today.
This is the Big O Show.